I've been waiting for someone to question the climate. It's been a long time coming.
Hey guys, it's your girl Brandy, aka Brandy4. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I do lots of videos on pop culture, reality TV, etc. So if you like any of those things, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. The way I've been busy, I recently got promoted at my job, so that's why I have not been posting as much. So, you know, just trying to navigate a new role. Basically, it's very hard for me to put out content like I used to, so apologies. But yes, I'm coming back because I definitely do miss YouTube. Yeah, I mainly just wanted to come on here to talk about the new docuseries on HBO Max called Quiet on Set. If you guys haven't heard, Quiet on Set is a Nickelodeon docuseries where all these past Nickelodeon child stars from the 90s, early 2000s are coming out and basically exposing the industry. Dan Schneider, Brian Peck, the producers, not even just the actors are exposing them, but also the writers on shows like The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, all that. The writers, the producers, the directors are exposing these predators in the industry, showing that they've taken advantage of these child stars when they were extremely underage, when they were around 11. Some of that, I think Amanda Bynes was 10 when she started. It's just so insane. I've heard about the numerous allegations against Dan Schneider, and then especially, you know, seeing a lot of think pieces on YouTube of people talking about how Dan Schneider has a foot fetish and he shows that through his shows, has a lot of sexual innuendos. For instance, you would just see a random clip of Ariana Grande shoving her toe in her mouth, random tidbits of the kids just showing their feet in the camera. That's not even the worst thing. Even in the documentary, the actor from All That, he was saying that, you know, when they put him in a very tight leotard, what was on the leotard, you can clearly see that the design looked like a PP. So just those are just little examples of just how messed up this entire situation was for them, and how these producers, Dan Schneider, Brian Peck, how these producers just kind of put them in these very sexual scenes. Us kids, I grew up watching Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. I was a Nickelodeon girly. Amanda Show, I would wake up every morning and watch that before I go to school. Drake and Josh was my show. iCarly, I was obsessed with iCarly. So just seeing the child stars Jeanette McCurdy, she was the first one to really be okay, maybe she wasn't the first one, but she was the main one to really be look. I had a terrible time on Nickelodeon, and I would like to expose how predatory and just how uncomfortable it made her feel over those past years, which is why she doesn't even want to act anymore. You guys know they have this new iCarly reboot on Paramount, and yeah, Sam is missing because Jeanette McCurdy she's just so traumatized from that experience, not only because of Dan Schneider, but just also because her mom just forced her into this, which you're kind of hearing about that a lot, in which all these child stars, you know, they're forced into this industry by their parents. And, you know, although, yes, Dan Schneider, Brian Peck, they are the ones committing these crimes and just they've been getting away with it for so many years, you still have to look at these actors' parents and think why did you think it was okay to put your 13-year-old child through an uncomfortable scene of them having loads of sugar in their mouth and turn gooey, and then cause them to spit it out it looks nasty. It's very weird. It's very concerning that none of these parents thought, hey, maybe this is not appropriate. Maybe this isn't age appropriate. And it's not they're working 2-3 hours a day. They're working 12-hour days. It just really makes me upset, you know, as someone who's grown up on these shows, to watch how traumatized all of these actors and actresses are, especially considering when I was young, I used to be so envious of them too. I used to want to be a child actress so bad. I remember telling my mom, I'm I want to be on Nickelodeon. I was so envious of what they were doing, because as a young girl, I did think, yeah, every time we would see a foot like in our face, like I was thinking, yeah, that's weird, but I guess it's like just random Nickelodeon humor. So I didn't think anything of it. But then, you know, of course, when you watch this documentary over, and then, you know, I haven't seen these shows in ages. So when you're watching these documentaries over, and I'm not even that grown, well, I don't think it's grown. I'm 26. So I'm like looking at this like, what the hell? Like, this is not okay for children to partake in. So I'm just kind of confused as to why these parents didn't think anything of it at the time. It actually is very concerning to me that they allowed their kids to just be under the supervision of these random men who are there only for a paycheck, like not for your child's safety. They could care less. Too trusting back then. I feel like on one hand now, parents are a lot more just aware of like just our surroundings, period, and their child's surroundings, because of how huge social media is now, and how, you know, we're hearing everybody's, you know, very dangerous stories of the industry. And now that more and more actors are coming out, especially child actors are coming out with how toxic and terrible the industry is, and how they will eat you up and spit you right out. Like, they could care less about you. They only care about the check. So now that we're, you know, hearing more and more about that, obviously, I think parents of child actors now are definitely a lot more cautious when it comes to putting their child in the industry. I personally don't think I could put my child in this industry now, especially more the fact of just like letting your child be a kid. I wouldn't want my child to be working at a young age, like as young as like 12 years old, especially because the thing is, like, these child actors, they have so much pressure put on them because their parents are like, yeah, you're gonna do this so you can make money for the family. And so they have this huge amount of pressure on their shoulders to think like, wow, I cannot screw this up. Like, I have to do whatever Dan Schneider tells me to do, even if I feel so uncomfortable, because I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be rich. I want to, you know, I don't want to, you know, be a normal kid going to school. They see how like us normal folks were completely jealous and envious of, you know, their life on Nickelodeon. They saw that, they knew it. So they did whatever they had to do to stay on the show, which is just extremely sad. It's just like, there's just so much pressure on this child. I can't even fathom, like, school was already stressful enough, but now you're having kids just like work more than 8 hours a day, just do very uncomfortable things. It's just very messed up all around. Main takeaway from this docuseries, however, was, of course, Drake Bell's. On one hand, I'm not that surprised, but then on the other hand, it's just hearing about it, because I've heard about Brian Peck and his allegations, and yeah, just him being a predator all around. I've heard about it. I hate the fact that he only stayed in prison for around 16 months. But I'm just very surprised that it was Drake Bell who went through that, especially during the Amanda show. We did not see it coming. I didn't see it coming. However, like, even hearing about, like, you know, the recent allegations against Drake Bell, how he was, you know, allegedly texting an underage girl. I heard that he didn't know the girl's age. I heard like the girl lied about her age, which is why he was found guilty of it. Because like he just didn't know. That's alleged. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just like little things like that, and even like I think the beginning of this year, or was that last year, you heard that Drake like disappeared for a while. You hear that he's just been in, I don't know if this is true, but like you've also heard that like he has kind of like fleed to Mexico. He has like more star power in Mexico, since everyone in America kind of just ran with those allegations of him with the underage girl, and we kind of just like canceled him after that. Drake has just been through so much, and it's literally all because of Brian Peck. I just feel so bad that he went through that as a child. He was literally a child. It's just so infuriating. But I applaud him for using this huge platform to tell his story, because now so many other child actors can now, you know, express what they went through with Dan Schneider even like the Disney stars, like they can like express what they went through as well, because Drake Bell, along with, you know, these other child stars, are finally coming forth with their story. So that's amazing. That being said, I did want to specifically talk about this because although I do think it's extremely brave for any child star to come out, and I think the more the merrier, like I want every child star to have, you know, to share what, you know, their experiences were and share like who are the predators in the industry. I want people to be exposed immediately. I want all of the predators to be exposed. And I'm so glad that these child stars are doing it. That being said, I do not like how the public is forcing victims to speak out. I don't like that. And I think that's important to mention because it's like you guys are forgetting that these child actors and actresses, they're human. They're human. Like, you cannot force them to talk about a traumatic situation if they're not ready to talk about it. Like, have you guys not learned? Like, I don't understand. I don't know what is a better way to say this? Because, for instance, ever since this documentary came out now, obviously, you know, all these videos of Ariana Grande and the weird, you know, the slap videos from Victorious are coming out of her clearly doing like subjectively like sexual things in these videos. And so yeah, obviously Ariana Grande, clearly a victim. Or even Liz Gillies, is that her name? Liz Gillies from Victorious as well. As you all know, she's now married to a producer who worked on Victorious. And while she was like 19, he was like 36, and they were dating at that time. So because of that, now everybody's adding her like, oh, Liz Gillies, if you want to come out, since you're a victim as well, I want you to say something. How come you're not saying anything? Just like basically harassing these celebrities to speak out. Even Victoria Justice, it's like, all in her comments, bruv, all you see is, Victoria Justice, are you gonna say anything? How come you're real quiet? Da da da. Carly, what's her name? Miranda Cosgrove. You cannot force people to speak out about their trauma if they're not ready. Like, despite this documentary being out, like, we already have enough evidence to prove that these producers were predatory. We don't need to have anyone else come out and speak out if they're not ready. I'm sure they're all like talking to each other about the situation right now. You don't, or not, you don't know. But I'm sure that they have a support system that they can go to talk about their trauma. Well, hopefully anyways, because I know Drake Bell didn't have his support system for a long time. But either way, like, you should still just assume that they're not ready to come out to you, a person that they don't know, to speak on this trauma. So why are you harassing them? Stop harassing them. Like, don't do that. I'm even seeing now with the whole Amanda Bynes thing, like, she's been living a very low-key life now. I heard she's now a nail technician or like an esthetician or something. She's living like a very low-key life, as she should, especially considering the allegations of her and Dan Schneider's weird relationship. Like, I allegedly heard that he got her pregnant when she was very young. So, yeah, I'm totally like empathetic of what she went through, and I completely understand why she doesn't want anything to do with Hollywood or anything to do with y'all. Like, let her just stay behind the scenes. But of course, ever since this documentary came out, I'm seeing paparazzi videos, you know, of just her going about her way, minding her business. And that's just really annoying because she's been laying low for years now, and now people are like bothering her all over again. Just like completely missing the entire point. Like, leave the girl alone. Like, leave her alone. Also, even just seeing the whole Josh Peck thing. So even before the documentary came out, or when it like just came out, Josh Peck, he posted a TikTok video, just like a joking TikTok video. We don't actually know if he was referring to Drake Bell in that video, if he was throwing shade at like anyone in that documentary. We don't actually know because he didn't tell us. He didn't tell us. And then since that video came out, of course you see in the comments, everybody's like, wow, so you're gonna post this video? You didn't even say anything about Drake Bell? Oh, so you're just like on Dan Schneider's side, which we don't know. Y'all harassed him so much that he had to like call Drake privately and be like, okay, like, look, I was not throwing shade at you. I'm totally like sorry that you went through that. And he even had to like write a statement talking about it as well. And it's just like, bruh, y'all are doing a lot. I'm sorry. Like, these are victims at the end of the day. You cannot force someone to talk about a traumatic situation if they're not ready. Did you see how long it took for Drake to talk about his situation? It took him damn near 20 years. So why do you think it's okay to force everybody else to? Please, please answer quickly. Quickly. And I'm starting to think you guys are seeing this as like entertainment, more so of like something that's really effed up. This is not funny. This is not okay. It's interesting to hear about their experiences, don't get me wrong. However, this is still like a real person. These are real people who went through this. These are real kids who went through this, like real kids who were taken advantage of by grown adults. You cannot force them to speak out about a situation. And then also, I'm even thinking about like the parents that do speak out for these child actors. Recently, I saw Kyle and Chris Massey's mother basically take up for Dan Schneider and say, oh, well, I know everybody else went through this, but Dan Schneider was nice to me and my kid. We didn't have those problems, so therefore he's innocent in my books, which is so stupid. I don't know who told her that was a good idea to say, but she really should have zipped her lips, because that was actually the dumbest take I've ever heard in my life. And since she said that, Chris Massey goes, hey, so I don't care what my mom says. She cannot speak on my experiences. I don't agree with anything she said. He basically was like, yeah, I don't listen to whatever she said. That has nothing to do with me and what I experienced, which means he probably went through a lot of ish that she knows nothing about. So for her to speak on his behalf is so backwards, like extremely, extremely backwards. Even in the documentary, the mother of Brandy, I thought that was also very weird for her to speak on her behalf. Like, did she give you permission to speak about her trauma? I'm just confused. It's giving she wanted the spotlight and she was like, yes, the perfect opportunity to gain the spotlight by talking about my child's trauma on such a public platform like HBO Max. Like, I don't understand why she thought that was okay. It was just weird. And she was like, I would understand if Brandy was in the video, like talking about it herself, but she wasn't. Like, her mom was speaking on her behalf. I found that very weird, especially considering she's the one who put her in the situation to begin with and made her traumatized to begin with. Not only do we have the public just forcing answers out of these victims, we also have these parents who put them in this situation to begin with. Like, they put them in this terrible situation and now they're speaking on behalf of them, which is not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. So yeah, it's just a very unfortunate situation. I feel like I can't even watch these shows the same again. Because, you know, here and there I would like go back and watch Drake and Josh episode, go back and watch all that when I'm bored and there's like nothing else going on. But now I'm just like, this is not going to be fun for me to watch. Like, I cannot watch the show now because just knowing that all of these kids were taken advantage of and all these sexual jokes were made, like, it's just, oh, I just cannot. Dan Schneider is a terrible person. Like, he's a terrible person. The fact that he went on an interview talking about, I would never do that now. I would never. Why were you doing that to begin with? What type of excuse? I understand that nowadays, like, people are more like cautious and woke about like just dumb-ish. But it's like, why did you think that was okay? You were still a grown man. Why did you think that was okay? That was a child. That was a child. They look so small. Mind you, these kid stars, they looked so small and puny. Like, it just pisses me off. Brian Peck sucks. I hope his house is getting egged every day. I don't care. Like, that man sucks. Like, blah, trash, basura. Take them. Take them. I want them gone, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's my little rant for today. It was just a terrible document. Like, terrible in the sense that it made me feel garbage. And I just feel so bad for these child actors. And it kind of shows why you don't really see that many child stars these days. It's crazy because I feel like back in the 90s, 2000s, children had like their own Hollywood back then. You don't see that now, though. You don't see that now. Ever since the, you know, social media has gotten bigger and child stars are coming out about their experiences and, you know, now us, you know, kids back then, us 90s kids, we're now the adults now. We're now having the kids. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore because, you know, we're hearing about what, you know, the people we looked up to went through. So now we're like, yeah, we're not putting our kids through that. So that's why you're not even seeing like famous child celebrities like you used to, which honestly, it's for the best. It is what it is, because that's just disgusting. Like, no child should be working like several hours a day. No child should be hanging out with adults without their parents' supervision, like for hours at a time. Like, that's weird. They can easily get taken advantage of in that way, and they all got taken advantage of, and we saw it in this documentary. So yeah, it's just really sad all around. Hope they heal from this and get as much therapy and support from their family and friends as possible, and even from the fans. And I really would love to encourage you guys to give these celebrities grace. When they decide to talk about it, they will. But until then, we all need to stop harassing people in their comments. Stop harassing them. That's not going to make people want to come out and say anything to you if you keep bombarding them with things and then making them out to be the bad guy because they don't want to talk about their experiences. Who are you to tell them what they can or cannot do? Are you their mom? Like, please. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this entire situation or whatever I just said. And yeah, seriously, just be kind. Be kind. That's all I have to say. Like this video and subscribe to your girl Brandy 4 for more content. I'm going to be posting more. So please subscribe. And yeah, bye.